The other thing we're going to talk about tonight, and I know a lot of you are waiting for us to delve into this, and so am I, frankly, is the Renato Moonphase. Because this isn't just another Moonphase. Frankly, it's one of the most captivating moon phases I've ever seen in my entire career in regards to wristwatches. Because what Martin Braun did is he basically, I'm going to use the term reinvented the concept. And what we're going to take a look at here is not, for example, a modified, which I would have first thought, by the way, like a Baozu 7751 or something like that. It's not. It's actually a hand-modified Swiss ETA 2824. And if you know anything about those movements, you know that they don't have a moon phase on them at all. In fact, they have a basic 2824 is day date at it's like, excuse me, it's not even day. It's just a date. So what Martin did is absolutely ingenious, because what we're looking at tonight is a moon phase that literally follows the phase of the moon, not approximately, but down to minute accuracy. Now, we're going to delve into that through a series of videos that we put together, so I'm going to go to that now, and then I'll be narrating through it, and we'll come back and conclude. But if you guys are looking for the buy of a lifetime on this watch, you are tuned in at the perfect time, because the black strap with the gray dial is available from the original price, the MSRP of $4,995, and currently in the market we're seeing the asking price of basically varying, depending on finish, between $2,000 and $2,500. We're doing it for $999, shipping included. Now when these are gone, they're gone. But I think it's safe to say this is literally the deal of a lifetime on a genuine holy grail of a wristwatch. Fantastic dial, the complications extraordinary, and of course the man who literally hand modified these individually is a legend, that again being Martin Braun. So let's take a look at the video, and then we will come back and conclude things here in just a few minutes. Congratulations, by the way, if you're getting in on this. I'll put it like this: I got one for myself some time ago, and that was way before it was $9.99, so I'm very happy for you guys tonight that are taking advantage of this extraordinary opportunity, which it is. So check out the video. We'll see you guys back here in a bit.
The initial time period after touchdown, we went through various sequences to prepare us for immediate abort or liftoff if we found that that was necessary. We found we had to vent the fuel and oxidizer manifolds a good bit earlier than this blended as we looked more cross-sun to a more sharper, well-defined features and more of a gray color. You see, most of the craters have rounded edges. However, there is a variation in the age of these, as we can.
To understand the importance of this piece, it's good to start at the beginning, namely a little bit about the creator, Martin Braun. Born in 1964 in Germany, he was a master watchmaker. He was also a true visionary in the world of horology. He's got many amazing accomplishments, not the least of which was the fact that he earned the title of master watchmaker at the age of just 27. His early career was a restorer of vintage watches, watch movements, and he became well known for specializing in classic watch restoration, sporting complications ranging from perpetual calendar, minute repeater, and of course the tourbillon. Now in 2000, his dreams of launching his own brand, named for himself, Martin Braun, became a reality. Now when this happened, he set the bar very high with the release of the EOS. Now that's a 950-part movement that not only displayed the hours and the minutes and the seconds, but there's a register on either side of the dial that indicates sunrise and sunset times, and they're calculated for the degree of latitude and longitude for the wearer's location. He would later expound on this in 2003 with the release of what's called Equation of Time, and later the Celine Moonphase, which is actually quite closely related to the piece that we're going to talk about today. He also had his own in-house caliber MAB 88 automatic, and that was, I think, around 2005 or 6. In 2006, Braun merged his brand, again the Martin Braun brand, with the Franck Muller group. And of course, Franck Muller is legendary. That would be merged in an area that is known as Watchland. Now, there were discrepancies with that group. Braun ended the relationship around 2009. What's interesting, though, is that the Franck Muller brand, or excuse me, the Martin Braun brand stayed with the Franck Muller group, not the first master builder to see that. Gerald Genta, Jorge Heizek, Roger Dubuis, Daniel Roth, the same thing has gone down with them. So in 2011, Braun partners with Antoine Mier, I believe is how he pronounces the name, and they formed the brand Antoine Martin. Their current accomplishments include the Slow Runner, which is a masterful watch. If you haven't seen it, well worth looking up. Also the Tourbillon Astronomique. Their pieces have now on occasion crossed the $500,000 price point. So here's a little bit of a background to give you an idea of the true genius that is Martin Braun, the gentleman that personally worked on the wristwatch we're taking a look at today. Okay, so let's break down the Renato Moonphase. Now, the first thing I'm going to do today is get through some of the basic stuff. For example, 45 millimeter by 14.5 millimeter case. It's all in 316L surgical grade steel. Of course, it is presented on a gorgeous alligator strap. I'm not sure who built it, but if I had to guess, I believe it's by Hirsch. It's definitely large grain and is very generous. I'd say up to a 9 is not going to be an issue with this at all. Please note the watch is 30 atmosphere water resistant, and that's very unusual for a dress watch and a reflective sapphire crystal front and back. And there is the core of it, the Swiss ETA 2824-2 25 jewel movement. With the big difference, of course, being that has been hand modified by master handmade maker Martin Braun. And I'm mentioning the instruction manual up front because unlike most wristwatches with watch collectors, this is one you're really going to want to get into. You do not set this up with the crown, at least as far as the Moonphase is concerned, or the date for that matter. You're going to set it up with a series of pushers you're going to find along the sides of the wristwatch. And part of the magic of this build is that you can set it to within minute accuracy of the Moonphase. And remember, this is not a quartz movement doing this. Martin Braun achieved it by modifying a Swiss ETA 2824 25 jewel mechanical automatic engine. The dial is absolutely spectacular. It's a 3D rendering of a world map, but it's done with this heavy texture in such a way that it actually does resemble the moon's surface. And of course, as you look at the watch, even a simple glance is going to show you that this is no ordinary Moonphase. The Moonphase itself takes up a huge portion of the upper section of the dial. And how it works is that you've got this photorealistic rendering of the moon, and then across that rendering is going to move a shadow. And it will be marking the duration of the 29.5-day moon phase. And even for a novice, or for that matter, someone who's not really into watch collecting, you find this immediately captivating. You've never seen a dial done quite like this. So let's get into some of the technical parts of this that watch collectors really need to be aware of. And one of the first things, again, I want to emphasize is that this is not a tractor setup, if you will. In other words, the 2824 is not driving a module. Now, I'm not knocking modules. They can do some great things. In fact, maybe a good place to start here is what is a module? So think of a module as a separate device from the movement, which it is. And that module will be custom made to do a certain amount of features or tricks or whatever you want to call it in your wristwatch. There's been some recent examples where a 2824 or maybe a Solita movement has created the power, and in turn that's been driving a module, let's say for a higher end chronograph, that sort of thing. Now, modules certainly have their place and they do some very cool things, but the real value is having a movement that is created in such a way to do all of these tricks or features so that it does not need a tractor setup, if you will. All right, it's not driving a module. And that's what's going on here. And when I first heard of this, frankly, I thought it was driving a module, but it's not. Part of the brilliance of this is that Martin Braun, again, a true genius in the world of watch building, got a Swiss ETA 2824-2 and personally hand modified each one of them so that the movement alone will not only give you the outer track pointer date, which it does, but more to the point, it gives you the moon phase. Now, no 2824 off the shelf is ever going to give you a moon phase, and I think a lot of collectors know that. So the modification on this is very substantial. But what drives this even further is that it's not just an ordinary moon phase. This is so accurate that it can follow the phase of the moon once you set it up. Now remember, I told you, you're going to want to delve into your manual with this. Once you have set this up, and obviously you have to keep it wound, this is so accurate that it follows the phase of the moon to within 1 minute accuracy. And it's this level of mechanical achievement, combined of course with the name that was able to create it, Martin Braun, that drives the value of the watch, that in turn makes this so important for collectors over the last few years. This is an exciting opportunity because, frankly, this hasn't really been available all that much. And when it has, understandably, it's been expensive. In fact, when this first came out, it listed for $5 grand, to be exact, $4,995. So to get this in brand new conditions we're doing tonight, much less with the elaborate packaging upgrade, and of course the full manual and original documentation and everything else, this is astonishing at this record low price of just $9.99 for the gray dial on the black strap. Now, another thing I want to point out before we wrap things up tonight is the packaging upgrade, because this isn't the original. This is a packaging that Renato actually built to house a tourbillon they were working on, and they ended up building just a very few of them, but obviously the packaging was completed. And this is a very luxurious box with the alligator motif on the outside, and it's a wonderful box that frankly is certainly worthy of a hand-modified Martin Braun creation. So I want to point out you're getting quite the package upgrade in this presentation this evening. The gray dial on the black strap, that is the one that we are doing for just $9.99, which is basically an 80% discount off the original list. And of course, there is PayPal credit to further help you with that as well. And you'll see that at the checkout. So to reserve yours, if you're watching us live, just hit the link off to the side. If you're on a portable device, hit the link just below. If you have additional questions, you can, of course, reach out at info@talkaboutwatches.com, and we'll try to get back to you just as soon as we can. For those of you reserving this watch, it's going to be a crown jewel in the collection and one you'll never regret. Congratulations.
Rounded edges, however, there is a variation in the age of these, as we can tell by the sharpness of the edge of the crater.
Well, as you can see, that Renato is nothing short of spectacular. One of the ways I choose to look at it is the more you learn about Martin Braun and the genius of his capability that it would took to modify that into the Moonphase that it is, you kind of marvel that originally you could own one for as little as $4,995. At $9.99, what can I say? It's a steal. This is extraordinary. And I'm really glad to see that you guys are taking advantage of that, because it is the buy of a lifetime. It is a real grail. And yeah, I'm kind of envious because when I got mine, frankly, it wasn't at $9.99. But the point is, you guys have the deal of a lifetime on a grail to get the association with Martin Braun and all of the legend that we talked about. This is really extraordinary stuff, and I'm so glad that you guys are taking advantage of that.